Welcome to Big Blend Radio, where we celebrate variety and how it adds spice to quality of life. So welcome, everyone. Every first Sunday, we get to have Johnny Schaefer here on Big Blend Radio's Big Daily Blend Show. And we like to kind of keep up with what's going on in the world in regards to seasonal celebrations and, of course, music, because he's an award-winning singer-songwriter. His husband, Paco, is on the show as well today. And he is an award-winning videographer. And I think every single video you've seen of Johnny's, and you can follow him on YouTube at Hear Johnny. Is that right, Johnny? Am I getting it? Because I know you're Hear Johnny, HearJohnny.com as well. But Paco does the videos. He's incredible. And he's done movies. He's done all kinds of filming around the world. And it's almost his birthday. And it is Hispanic Heritage Month, which he would like to change. So he's allowed to on our show, to Latino Month. So welcome back, Paco. How are you?
I'm all right, and thank you very much for the invitation. I'm thrilled about this podcast. So thank you so much.
It's always good to have you on the show. Last time we talked so much about food that, like right now, even the fact that you're on the show, I feel like I need to go make chilaquiles, and I don't know how to make them. I just know how to eat them, but I want chilaquiles. No, what? Oh, yeah. Do you make chilaquiles? When you cook, do you ever do that, or is it a no-no?
No, I do. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, are they tortillas that are deep fried, or like how are the tortillas done? Because I've tried to use like Doritos and stuff because I don't know what I'm doing. Like I'm a bad chef, and I know you're health conscious from the last podcast. We talked about that, and so how do you make healthy chilaquiles?
Well, there's no way to make healthy Mexican food. Honestly, unless you just eat without tortillas, without rice, without beans, and pretty much just lettuce, cheese, and crema. No, sometimes you have to make sacrifices, and I believe that some recipes, some dishes can't really be healthy because you don't get the same experience. I always say that eating is a pleasure. It's one of the biggest pleasures in life. Especially when, it's good food. Sometimes it's, you just have to, work out a little bit extra if you want to, be healthy. But chilaquiles is one of those comfort Mexican dishes that, it can be done with keto tortillas or it cannot be done. Corn is, me as a diabetic, I have to watch for the carbs. So sometimes I just need to, I go all the way or no way. Again, this is one of those dishes that you have to, you have to use corn tortillas and
Yeah, that's right. The corn is what it is. And then you've got the spice and then the textures because of the sauce. And then if you want the huevos on there and oh my gosh, yes, please. And yes, I'm hungry already. This is bad. I knew you coming on the show. I knew I should have had like a big lunch. We had a big breakfast and I thought, have a big lunch. Paco's coming on and he's going to make you hungry and we're already there on food. But it is almost your birthday as this airs. So happy birthday. I wanted to ask you, when we lived in Mexico, we lived south of Ensenada in an area, La Bufadora, Punta Banda area. And we were friends with a restaurant owner right over the blowhole area, which is beautiful. And actually even worked with her at times when she needed help and helped with menus, all kinds of stuff. And it was my birthday, which sometimes falls at silliness when we were there. I was in my 20s, early 20s. So, we were having a good time. And it was after people had gone home pretty much, except for the really, the true patrons of this restaurant and bar. And the staff brought out a cake for me for my birthday. And I was like all surprised, and they started singing and did like a chain around the restaurant and went to the cake. And I was like, oh, this is so sweet. Blew out the candles and it was Miguel, and it's always Miguel. He was a naughty boy. He smashed my face into the cake. Not hard, but it was funny. I thought it was hysterical. Nancy, my mom, thought it was hysterical. We both had the giggles, but some of the patrons were horrified. One guy, him and they were a couple. He went off and decided he's driving to Ensenada to get a cake. And I'm like, I thought this was special. Like I had been working with these guys. They were like friends, We didn't have the best communication language-wise, but we had communication. We knew, like, if someone came in and we're like, we didn't even have to say anything. There's language without language, okay? And so we had like a really good friendship, all of us. And this guy got so mad he drove all the way to Ensenada, came back with a cake. And then they all looked at me and going, I mean, driving all the way to Ensenada, you're talking about an hour and a half, 2 hours, there and back.
Wow.
And they're all looking at me like, do we dare do this again? Then, and then there was this portion where we're all sitting there, everybody ate their cake. And I think the guy was just mad because then he felt like, well, you can't eat the cake because Lisa's face was in it. I don't know. And then what was really, really, really funny was, it's a very family friendly place, even though there's tequila flying everywhere, right? It was fun. But that's what I love about Mexico. It's everyone, all ages are together. And so we're sitting there and there's this little girl and we're all sitting there, but all of a sudden near her, this big wave of fart. That's all I can tell you, but it was a big wave of fart went through and hit us all one by one. And we all looked around at each other and some guy just turned around and went, someone has had too much cake. And I do not know why I still think the most hysterical thing of my life. So Paco, this is a good tradition. That guy should never have gotten upset about it, right? About the face in the cake. Or should he? I mean, as far as I know, that was a term of, you're on to a new journey. Like it's a clean, I don't know. It's like have your cake and eat it and tomorrow you got a new year kind of thing. What is that about?
Well, the tradition is that the birthday person got to eat the first bite of the cake. So it's just a bite. But the original tradition
mine
is
went in.
eating the bite. And what happened is it became more like a prank. Once you bite, people really push your face into the cake. And to me, that's not tasteful. I mean, even as a Mexican and as, a traditionalist, to me, that's not fun. Trying to get all that icing out of your face is not very funny. It's not very.
It wasn't that bad
for the birthday person. But
it wasn't that bad.
Too much for the birthday person just to get a bite. Even before cutting, you just get the little bite, and then you cut. You cut around where you bite, and then you keep cutting, and then just fill it.
That's not what happened.
But it has become a prank, and to be honest with you, I'm not a fan of that. I will not.
Okay. This was Miguel. I'm telling you, Miguel pulled. And when you say a prank, he pulled pranks. He was on a fine line in that restaurant because the owner was like, "You can't do this kind of stuff to clients," But we thought it was funny because it's something like I don't know, Nancy and we're known to have food fights. So
when my nephew was very small, when they had his birthday parties, they would make a separate cake for him to just dig in. Like he was just covered with cake and frosting by the end of it, and it was the cutest thing.
Yeah,
his own special cake.
Okay, what about king cake? King cake is kind of like you don't smash your face into it, but that's a shared tradition. Is that mostly because of the Catholic belief, right? Or Christian belief with king cake? Because there's Mardi Gras, there's Christmas. What's going on? Johnny, maybe that's your question. What's going on?
I actually learned about it from Paco, and then I wrote a song about it on my Christmas album called The Baby in the Cake. And it's the whole song talks about the tradition. And, they bake a little baby Jesus into the cake. And then if you eat it on Epiphany, right, Paco?
January 6th.
That's when the Mardi Gras ends in Louisiana.
Yeah. And then if you get the baby, then you February 2nd, Dia de Candelaria, you make tortillas, tamales, for the party. And so the song I wrote is like, I hope I don't get the baby in the cake because I don't know how to make tamales. So that's what the song is about. Like, please, I don't want to get the baby.
It is a very, when Johnny came out with the song, because I told him the story, right? I told him, well, this is the story of we call it Rosca de Reyes. And I told him the story, and of course, it's from Spain, and it has a story. I mean, there is a reason why they hid the little baby Jesus, plastic baby Jesus into the cake is because they were trying to protect Jesus. And so they were hiding him. So that's one of the meanings. But again, this is a crown, and the cake is round. Now it's oval because they had to make it larger. And so, it has resembled a crown for the wise men, and then it has dry fruits on top, and that's supposed to be jewels. When it comes to Mexico, we had to add something, right? Which is like, if you get the baby, then you have to cook tamales for, on February 2nd. And that's a tradition about the Rosca de Reyes. And that's one of the traditions that I actually like, because we celebrate Christmas, but Santa is not the one who brings the present. In Mexico, the Mexico that I grew up, is the three wise men, Los Reyes Magos, that happen to come on January 6th and bring presents. So, Santa is not part of, or wasn't part of my tradition growing up in Mexico City. So I think now some people adopt it. To me, Santa is a part of my American tradition. And I
just think that, I would wanted to stay. I always, the whole Santa thing was weird. And then you find out your parents lied to you about like this person, it's like the first time you grow up and you realize that lies exist is the Santa thing. It is. It's true. Like, that they lied to you this entire time. You're not supposed to take it that way. And I'm going to get emails of people yelling at me, but I know we're skipped way ahead in the holidays here right now, but who cares? We're getting towards that season, October. They have Christmas in grocery stores and Walmarts, and I don't know if it's Walmart or what, but Christmas is landing in places. And I think to put Christmas and Halloween together is pretty funny. It's like, I don't know what you're doing here, but it's kind of an interesting thing.
Nightmare Before Christmas, that Disney movie.
There you go.
Mashed them together.
I did want to say, I always wanted to pinch Santa's butt just to see if he was real. That was my thing as a kid. It's like I stayed up to see if he would really come out to Kenya where I was when I learned all this. I'm like, you're not going to go through the bush, through lions and all of this stuff. No tigers, everybody. Lions and leopards and elephant. You're not coming through there with Rudolph. Rudolph will get attacked by the lions. So all of this is not falling with me. And none of my African friends believed any of this. But if there's a good legend, they'll believe it because it's cool. So it's like, because they believed in all these different gods and all of these different beings. And then, of course, Christianity came with the missionaries. So they're all good stories to believe in. And that's really a truth. I'm not knocking any of Christianity or anything. I'm just saying that, in different cultural belief systems, I don't want to say myths and legends necessarily, but there's stories passed down, which are life lessons. And the cultural celebrations are more traditions to remind us of those life lessons and things that are passed down mostly orally and through song, dance. This is where the arts are so important because the arts tell the truth. Even today, that's the, one bit of truth we have. Thank you to journalists, scientists, and musicians and artists and authors. That's how we get our truths. And through family history and all of that, it passes down. And so it's not, I know people say myths and legends, and we can argue on religion being that because people do argue on that. But I just think these stories are supposed to be these lessons, and stories get bigger and smaller as they get handed down. So for me, the Santa thing never really, I tried to believe in it and I thought it was cool because my friends thought it was cool. They didn't quite believe it either, but they're like, what? Some white dude from way up somewhere we don't understand is coming? A big fat white dude is coming with some kind of other antelope into Africa to give you cookies and presents? We're all staying up for this. And then our thought was to pinch his butt to see if he was real. So that's how we thought Santa Claus was. So that's an African style Santa. Now it's a completely different world. This was like in the late 70s, early 80s. I'm old now. But yeah, it's kind of weird. Paco, do you think in your family history too that those stories are there as life lessons that get handed down in music and storytelling? I really think that's part of it with all of our cultures, all of us.
I think, I think all those stories are important for the holidays and that's how we create traditions, right? And identity. Like I say, nothing to me is like, nothing is like, even the Dia de los Muertos is not pure Mexican anymore. It's been influenced by so many cultures, and it's not only European culture, but I mean, there are some Arabs within our traditions, and I do believe that, yeah, nothing is really pure. But I think, if I may, I think my experience is that what makes America a unique place. I've been I had the opportunity to travel to Europe and stay in Europe not as a tourist, but actually I stayed there for a long period, and I experienced what locals do. And America, especially California. And I think I'm a Californian. After a Mexican, I'm a Californian American, and it is I think it's one of the purest examples of the melting pot. And I understand the reason why we should celebrate everything that we bring into the country, into our a fabric as nation. It's all the contributions that all the cultures bring. I mean, despite if I believe that, I probably had the same questions that you growing up. It's like three guys, one on an elephant, one on a horse, and the other one in a camel. And we're like, back then they were talking Mexico City had 20 million people. And I go like, how did they make it to 20 million houses, right? And, as a kid, you start doing the math. And sometimes
and what's up, parents? What is our parents? What are they telling us? Like, what did you have to drink tonight at cocktail time? Come on.
It isn't only that. My thing was always like, okay, why are they advertising toys on TV and they say that, well, batteries are sold separate? And I was like, why are the batteries sold separate? They're supposed to be magic. They're not supposed to. And then the biggest thing for me was like, this is not what I ordered. This is not what I asked for. I got something that I didn't ask for. It was nice, but it was like, no, something is wrong. I got the wrong present. This is not what I asked for.
Please, Santa, take it back. Oh my gosh, now you're becoming. This is where the new world has changed. This is in our. That's generational. Look how we've changed. Yeah. It's very. Paco, you bring up something really important. I think is that we're. It's Hispanic Heritage Month, but it's also like a global. I'm gonna have to look it up. I'll look it up in a second. But it's also like this month celebrates global unity, and in that way, I'll go look up the full term. But as we look and have these conversations, what I find really intriguing is we're looking from cultural, like, okay, you've got to think when we had all these explorers go out and discover these new worlds, and no, they were not nice. And I have a Christopher Columbus interview coming up soon. Y'all don't get mad at me, but it's all about the myths and legends of Christopher Columbus. So that's going to be an interesting one. But all these explorers go out, and then here it goes. The world is open. Everybody's fighting. We have wars over places and greed and power hungry, over we want the spices. We want this. England wants this. England and Spain were the two that just were like, we're going to take everything. It's ours. And then Italy is like, no, you're not. All these people started like, we're taking it. It was like a big land grab back in those days with the explorers going on. And I have to say the explorers, they were our first travel writers of the world, right? And you've got to think you're getting on a rickety wooden ship and hoping you're going to go, across these seas. They had some cojones to do this. And I'm allowed to say that word. It's Hispanic Heritage Month. And I'm being polite as I can, but I just look at these guys. They did some very bad things to people that they met with, but it opened the doors to the world and people trading and connecting. And now through a few centuries, right? A few centuries, look at where we are now, globally tied. Families are tied. I feel, even though our world is a little crazy, so we're not thinking, but people to people, person to person, we fall in love with who we want to fall in love with. Race, all of it. Doesn't matter. But I think, if you think about where we were, everyone was their pure culture at one little point, and then nobody wanted to stay in their little lane. Why would we? And we merged off, and here we are. And as we talk about all these traditions, what's so cool is sometimes we find we all had similar traditions, all from different places, different cultures, but we have to look at the generational thing too. We are all connected, is my point. Yes, maybe it took some really bad explorers doing bad things, but don't you think now it's really cool to have these stories come down through tradition? We've changed because of time and generations, but look how we are learning we're not doing it very well in a lot of places, but we are united in some of these traditions. And it's a way to get together and understand as families. I know I'm taking a lot of time trying to explain this, and I know I'm going to get bad emails, but I hope you guys all understand what I mean. Things change in generations and they're passed down, but it's not just a generation. It's also that we're culturally connected. I mean, even if you want to go back way, way, way when the world cracked up and everything. So I find all of this fascinating because it does prove we are connected in a way. And it's connected in generation, connected by culture, and also celebrating the differences, which become the new tradition. So new traditions are all fibers of the old traditions, and it is about connecting communally. Does that make sense,
Well,
Paco? I know well, go ahead, Johnny. One of you, save me what I'm saying here.
Well,
Save me.
Jung and Joseph Campbell got into the whole thing about archetypes and the great stories and how we're that same thing that we're connected, on a subconscious level. We're all connected to each other, and so these stories grow out of our subconscious and that connection. Paco was talking about the Dia de los Muertos. And Disney has this really cool series of short films that are about diversity and, both ethnic and all different kinds of people. And they have one that's called Maxine, and Margaret Cho's in that one. And it's about an Asian tradition where the family gathers together and they have a meal with their relatives who have passed on. And it's this really cute story about that, and I saw a lot of similarities between that and the Dia de los Muertos tradition. And a lot of these traditions, the people didn't know each other; they were thousands of miles away from each other, and there's a lot of overlap in these stories. Paco was even talking to me the other day about a lot of the Christian traditions, of the whole Messiah story is in many different cultures. And so, I think to what you were saying is that these stories can tap into those connections that we have on a subconscious level and bring us all closer together, I think.
You fixed me. Thank you.
Before I don't know if you guys can hear me, but before I forget is, when you talk about the past and all that atrocities humanity have done, I think in order to celebrate, we have to kind of live with, the past needed to happen in order for us to celebrate, right? And to me, the past is always a lesson. Every single day, every single minute is just a lesson. So I agree with you about, all the atrocities, not only, that humanity have done, because when we think about it, we always think about the conquerors, but within the Mexican, or not the Mexican, but indigenous people in America, in the Americas, they were also they also have kings and they have emperors, and that there was some cruelty, and those are facts that are there, and sometimes we don't talk about it. But to me, it's not to focus on the negative side. I think we cannot forget the negative side, so we won't keep making the same mistakes. I'm sorry, but it is good to see the good things that happen because of that. Mexico, it's very religious and mostly Catholic, and we love to party. And Catholics love to party. Protestants are very correct, and they're just like great to me. But that's just my opinion. But Catholics love to party. We have a saint for every single day, so we can celebrate. But it wasn't like that. We always complain about the Europeans, colonizers. And this is just my opinion, right? I complain at some point, but I go like, well, what would it be Mexican food without rice? Because rice is not from the New World. Cilantro is not from the New World. Onions and garlic, to me, are universal basic ingredients for any food, are not from the New World. Can you imagine Mexican food without carnitas? Because pork is not from here. Beef is not from here. Cows are not from.
They're from Africa.
there. So I think those are the things that we have to, in order to create our Mexican identity, everything everything that happened was meant to be in order for us to have that identity. It's not only the Spanish, the Spanish contribution to the Mexican culture, but also the French contribution. At some point, for a short time, we were a French empire. I'm so thankful for the contribution that French, contribute to the Mexican history, because in some ways, it does make us different than other countries in Latin America. And I think it's the same with the U.S. I mean, again, the U.S. is a melting pot. It's a unique nation, and it is nice to celebrate heritages. It is nice to celebrate what each culture contributes to the nation and the culture, and even history and politics and ways to see things. Yeah, I mean, I think chips and guacamole or chips and salsa are kind of universals in the American territory, as of chow mein somewhere else. Or, it's not only, I mean, there are many things that make our nation unique, very unique.
I think our show has gone from Hispanic Heritage Month to Latino Heritage Month to the truth is this month is Global Diversity Awareness Month. And I think we're doing a good job of this because it is true, because not one country didn't learn from another country with all the, like you said, there's the Christopher Columbus stuff, but the reality is, like, he opened a lot of corridors and doors to everyone. That's the thing. So there's negative with every positive, and there's a positive to every negative. It's just hard to see sometimes depending on what's going on and what the negative is, right? So there's some really bad things, but negativity, there's always a light somewhere. And I always see people get together and unite when there's negativity. And I think that's also a positive thing. We see wildfires and hurricanes or, things like that. You will see the human race become little ants and march together to fix and help. And that's a beautiful thing.
One of my favorite phrases is like, in order to appreciate the light, we need to experience some darkness. This has been, whatever I have read about history of humanity is like we as a race have experienced dark, times, but then at some point we appreciate and embrace each other. We become more in touch with each other, and I think there are waves right throughout history. There are always waves or like dark times and light times, but I think even like personally, sometimes we need to experience a little bit of darkness or difficult times in order to appreciate the light or good times. When everything is good, at some point it kind of becomes like, oh, okay, boring. But
no, when it becomes good all the time, I get antsy.
When things are granted.
When things are going really well for like, if everything's going 100% for 3 days, I'm like, something's going to happen. I'm waiting for the shoe to drop. And I don't mean that in a negative way. There's survival, and then there's always something moving and changing. You're very right. I mean, darkness, when bad things happen, I mean, Nancy and I just went through all kinds of crazy tech stuff, right? This last week, as you guys know. And so thank you for delaying your recording here with us. And literally, everyone, this is airing like as soon as this was recording. So we're practically live at this point, which I love. But every time we are really faced with really hard challenges, and I mean, we've all been through them, right? All of us in some way. What is one person's biggest challenge may be the smallest challenge to someone else. Everybody has their challenges and how it affects them. But challenges are there. Pain is there to see the light. We have to have that. If we don't have contrast, we have no art. And the art is there to help us through the contrasting times. I mean, do you feel that I know that with Paco I want to go into this filmmaking, but do you feel that musically? I have to say, Johnny, this year you've put out some serious music, and is it also last year too? I don't know. I'm just saying the last 12 months. Let's put it that way. I can't even keep time. The time thing is out of my mind now. Listen, when you turn 50, who cares? All I know is my belly expands and I go, yeah, I'm eating pizza too much. And I'm going to go see Paco and he's going to help me. But really, look at the music that you have put out and you stand tall with your messaging, which I appreciate. You're authentic. You're real. You're not putting music out because, oh, this is a good time to do it commercially. And it's not easy to be what you write about and what you sing and then the videos that you put together with Paco and the musicians you bring together. This is every little thing. I mean, by the way, it's German American Heritage Month and Johnny has some German in him. And listen, all of us who have German heritage have like attention to detail and Johnny has it. And with his music, he's very much like all ducks row and must be in the row. Let creativity go where it needs to flow. I hope you don't mind if I'm talking behind your back while you're on a show, but this is who Johnny is. He's like, when his focus on his music is 100% heart and soul and reality, and he chooses what he's going to do to really make it the most impact for the listener in his music and to make positive change. And even if he tackles really hard things like suicide, he always brings hope. It's not 100% darkness. There's always hope. It's almost this gradient of here's the stuff and I'm going to bring you here. And this is what it could be if we all work together and do these things. But also lands it fair and square where the issue is. And he stands by it. And I watch him on social media. I watch how he talks to his fans. I get his emails and his newsletter. Go to hearjohnny.com. I encourage you to do that. And when you guys put videos together, you're very intentional about what you do and you stand strong where some people will do these topics to be commercial and use it and you don't. I watch for that. And I, over the years, gotten to know you, Nancy, all of us, we've gotten to know each other over the shows and conversations. And I think this is a very important thing that the arts really help what's happening between the dark and light. I'm staying on track on the conversation, but I think you are the balancer in the seesaw. You're in the middle going, here's how we can balance it. And you're going to need some balance. And here's some music to be that. And as we grow in humanity, culturally, generationally, I don't know if that's a word, I'm making it up, but as we all go through these shifts and changes, politically, we're going through shifts and changes and arguments and all the drama. If we don't have music, we don't have soul and spirit. For some of us, music is spirit and the soul. Everybody needs some kind of soulful, spiritual rock to go to. And I think music plays that role a lot. So that's a thing for you, Johnny, with your music.
Yeah, no, and I'm blessing. I appreciate that, your really kind assessment. And I occasionally have people tell me, oh, why don't you steer clear of all that stuff? And, and I notice like when I come out with different songs, I'll lose followers, but I gain other people that get me and that are tuned in to the things that I want to talk about because, really all we have to offer, and I'm glad you mentioned authenticity, well, all we have to offer is our authentic perception and our take on the world. And maybe it's valuable to people and maybe it isn't. It was 1 year ago, actually, that we released When It's Your Kid. And just yesterday, we got news that we won another a film festival. So,
congratulations.
Down in
oh my gosh, in Buenos Aires? Really?
Yeah.
You need to go there because that is like happening for musicians now. Buenos Aires is like one of the, and that's a whole other conversation. But anyway, yes, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Yay.
Yeah. So, and that's, it didn't get, millions of views or anything, but I get emails from people at odd times that say, I just needed to share with you that this really touched me and it really impacted my life. And I'm sitting here, bawling. And with that particular one, numerous times I've had people tell me that, it was a message that they really needed. And as people feel alienated, it helps them to hear songs that tell them they're not alone. That was one thing that, I've talked about before that Melissa Manchester's music did for me when I was a kid, when I was a closeted teenager in a conservative small town, and her songs just kind of got me through it, And so, I think that the crazier things get, the more we need people creating and writing books and dancing and painting and making sculpture and whatever creative outlet people have, use their voice that way because it's going to connect with someone and you never know who. And sometimes you don't even ever, I think you don't ever know that you touched people, but it becomes something larger, and you think about the way that the music from different parts of the world blends, this is the big blend. And, like when I think about Mexico, the music is so influenced by Germany and Eastern Europe, the instruments, tubas and, and trumpets and
But look at the Norteno music, man. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
It's South Africa was like that too, right? It's interesting because they had the Dutch come in and all of that. And we did have Hispanic. We had more Portuguese over there in South Africa. Portuguese, Dutch, it's different. I wanted to go to Paco though on the filmmaking because you've grown and grown and grown over these music videos. And I wanted to ask you, there's one thing making a documentary, a movie, and everything the editing room is cut, cut, cut. But knowing the kind of songs that Johnny's been doing lately, I think he needs to do a Christmas Carol now. We need some fun. He needs to do a really fun Christmas Carol. But that's got to be serious in filming and knowing how to bring the softness to the darkness at the same time. And you've managed to do that with these music videos. And also know what to cut away, even though you want to do something. Has it been challenging as you develop these new music videos with him?
It's been challenging because sometimes it's about we want to get exposure. We want to create a video that goes viral, but some of the times is about giving credit to the lyrics. I think new generations, their attention is focused on images rather than storytelling, and the same thing with the song or music. They're more attracted to rhythm rather than melody and lyrics. Told me once that there is really nothing new under the sun. It's just how you present it, right? And so we're competing with thousands of videos that get released every single day, and
millions.
To me, it's just like
millions.
So to me, it's just trying to give, the best. To me, it's always about the song itself. It's not about showing flashy. It's showing flashy. No, it'll be nice. I can, it's, when you're an independent artist, you really, we do it because of the love to the art, but it will be nice that can help us pay bills too, because it costs money to do quality stuff.
Yes, it does.
I had clients. I had a client one time, and she was a professional actress, and asked and said, like, "Can you do this?" And it's only like 3 minutes, but I got like 3 hours of footage. And when I give her my, the invoice, she was like, "What? What is this?" It was only 3 minute video, and I said, "Yeah, but it didn't take 3 minutes to make a 3 minute video."
Yeah.
This is someone who does this for living. I totally stopped working with this person because it's lack of respect, to people who cut things and try to make the story flow. And that's, one of the things that is about creativity. Creativity is not, art is not, it's a talent.
Yeah. And it goes back to that authentic. It's the authentic again.
It takes time. Sometimes I have to watch and rewatch just
my gosh, I know.
To get a little soundbite and just how can I glue this somewhere else? And the same thing with making music videos, especially, for Johnny. There's so much content, but some of the content is just not my taste, right? It's not my taste of content. My content is different. And then I always try to make justice to the subject, or in this case the lyrics and the music. And it'll be nice to go viral, but I wanted to have something that it looks good and probably emphasizes more in the lyrics and the music rather than just just, showing something that is going to make people upset.
Yeah.
So some people, you can go viral and in a negative way, and you can go viral in a positive way. So,
yeah. The whole viral thing, it's changing, though. It is changing. The more vinyl is coming out, more and more and more, which is exciting to see. And it's still not huge, but we're seeing restaurants that require you to put your phone in a case and lock it up. We're seeing a trend it's coming. People are getting tired of the death scroll or doom scrolling. I call it death scrolling. On your phone, people are getting to a point of like, okay, and even social media by this time next year, social media is going to be a whole different media. It's already going there. We can already see Facebook, Twitter, all of that, or X, excuse me. X is your spot, whatever. All these different places, it's changing because people are, we've become numb and process starts to happen. And I think it happens at this season. And so I know our whole show of today is just completely changed and we don't care because that's what podcasts are about. You can do what you want. The thing is we're changing and there's a lot of anger, obviously, politically and everything. But over the holiday season, it comes to a point, are you going to argue at a table? Are you going to put your phone down and play a board game, play some music, watch a movie together? That's why holiday movies are about fun and silliness, because it's to make us all get back to that warm and cozy feeling so that we can start a new year, maybe rekindle relationships that got broken over whatever's going on in this country and the rest of the world. The rest of the world isn't looking that great either, quite frankly, if you look at what's going on. So we have all these shifts and changes happening in humanity as a whole. And so I think, it's kind of this, we're moving to authenticity being the next that's the next big thing. I believe people are going to want true art because everything else is so damn painful. And how many notifications do you want? How much of this do you want in your life when it's just another argument or the doom death scrolling and all of that? We have a generational change, which means new thought, new beliefs, new traditions, but they are still connected with the elder traditions. It's always a new day. It's always a new way to look at things. And I've been doing so much research on all of this. I think the only way is to be true and hold on to your art. And maybe it just means we do have to eat beans and rice, Paco. I'm sorry, but we may have to make it for the art and hold your ground. I did an interview about Vincent van Gogh's sister-in-law, and her husband died, and he was the art dealer. And then Vincent died, and she ended up with all the artwork. And they didn't have the money, and she ended up in a boarding house with her child, a young baby, and held on to that art and wouldn't let people cheapen down the art. And they didn't even believe in Vincent van Gogh at that time. And this is just an incredible story of women's history too, because a woman wasn't supposed to be selling, anything other than her body at that point, and well, truly, or behave yourself and be little pristine little miss, and she held on to that art and would not let that art be put down because she believed and she knew it from her husband and learned from her husband. They both were huge art music fans. And I think all of us who enjoy the arts understand what's good and what's authentic and what is put out by a label, what is put out there for commercialism. Just turn on the radio. But anyway, you know what I mean? And I think we're getting right now why things are so hard in the world is part of that shifting of sands gets really extreme before the balance comes in. And that's why I say Johnny's music and what he does is so important. And a huge amount of other musicians and filmmakers and writers, all of the arts is so much in that. When we talk about Global Diversity Month, I think that's what does it too. You can listen to music from around the world and not even understand the lyrics, but feel it. That's the other thing. Lyrics are very important. I agree with you, Paco. However, there are songs I can't tell you what they mean, but they mean they're on my top 10 list of making me feel good, No,
I do believe that always, what the arts are, I think we are creators by nature. We are curious by nature. And I do believe that it is sad when the human talent is replaced by a software. And I mean, people go to school to be musicians. People, they're musicians who play. It's not only singers and songwriters, but also, people who play an instrument, musicians who play instruments. Piano is, playing a piano is not easy. Playing every single instrument, violin, all that when it's replaced by a software, it's just like, I hope at some point we use all this for our advantage instead of taking away or making us more numb than we are. I think it took years for us to get where we are right now, and hopefully at some point we realize that we need to keep exercising those talents that we are born with, or because otherwise we're going to be blobs. We're just going to be there sitting, probably watching TV and trying to, eating a lot of sugar, carbs, and make things that make us sick. And
the belly is going to grow. We're going to get the big belly. And then you're going to have to buy a bigger couch and a bigger chair. Then you're going to have one that puts your legs up so that your legs don't swell because you ate too much. Oopsie. That's true.
To me, there are a lot of basic skills that we're losing, generation after generation after generation. Some people don't know how to hunt. Try to hunt for your food, or try to. If you have chickens, how do you actually get a chicken ready for you to eat, right? How do you plant? When do you harvest? When is the produce correct? Well, I think all that is we're losing that we have more, again, in my experience, we have more people sitting at a desk, but then we don't exercise. Those things that at some point, we move less, and there's always a magic pill, a machine, something that tries to fill in, but for those things those skills or moves that we're not doing anymore.
No,
I think
we're at a place
from communication. Television was created, and it was a good invention to bring together family, right? To bring family together. And then now that that you can have a television in every single room.
Jesus, I know, right?
Family is not together anymore, right? Before the news we used to have like 2 shows.
It's in our hand, Paco. It's in our palm. It's in the palm of our hand. It's not even a TV in the bedroom. It's in the palm of our hand. I watch people walking into tree. Nancy loves this. That's her favorite thing, is people watching. And she goes, "Oh, look, they got the phone. Are they going to trip?" And if they trip, she does laugh. I'm sorry, it's true. And then I have to laugh too, because you were unaware of everything around you. And then you wonder why you get mugged. You wonder it's somebody else. No, they have uneven pavement. Oh, it's this, that. Let's have a lawsuit because this is what we're so good at in this country. Really. The experience is gone.
I just want to say something, right? I'm not complaining about technology, not at all. I'm so glad that I got to live in this era, because I cannot imagine myself, like 100 years ago. So I'm very, very happy. It's very interesting because thanks to technology, we are in 3 different places talking at the same time. And it's not super expensive like it used to be 20 years ago, when making a long distance phone call was like, you had to enter your bank account. But now it's like Johnny's in Central California. I'm in Northern California right now. And so you are somewhere else in the world. So it is very nice just to have this. So I'm not complaining about technology at all. What I'm trying just to say is, like, hopefully at some point we realize we utilize technology in our how do you say that? Our basic skills. Let's try not.
It's a tool.
Hopefully the software, the machine technology will not take over our human skills. Yes, human.
I agree because technology is great. We've done so many shows on AI and AI. They're basically, yes, jobs are going away. AI is stealing anything that everyone wrote. AI is using everything off our website, and we're about to fix it. Boy, are we going to fix that? We have some things fixing. And that's the reality. It's like musicians. You put something out. Oh, we're going to steal this. We're going to steal that, and hey, I have emails from people asking to create music for our shows using AI. And I'm like, I can't even answer them because it's not polite. And I really want to say like beep, 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 because there's no music created on AI without stealing from other musicians. Right now we have that lady out there that's on the news doing as an actor, these stories that she's doing as an actress, and she's using AI, but it's still stolen stuff. It's still stealing. It's thievery of actual content, And what I love about podcasting, this is a real conversation, y'all. We say things, we detour, we do all of it, and we will continue to do it, even though we have to do little video clips and reels to keep everybody technically happy. Honestly, a good conversation is a good conversation. I do wish we were all in the same room. That would be way real and better. But, and then Paco, like food, just saying, like, I want cooking lessons. But the reality is really that we are moving towards that way. So the pendulum always swings to the extremes. Extreme, extreme, extreme. And everybody goes like, okay, I feel beaten up. I'm tired. Let's get some balance. It's like you get a hangover from technology, a hangover from we're creating hangovers right now. And then people get tired and go, dang, I want a healthy meal. Dang, I want to hear some music that inspires. Dang, I want to pick up the phone and have a conversation or maybe have a meal without texting to each other during the meal. How about that? So I think we're just in extreme, Paco. I think we're in extreme zones, but I think we're at the extreme point. And I also see things moving in a positive way. It may take time, but I think it's extreme. And I think we have to go extreme at times. You know what I mean? Just like the explorers had to do the extreme.
I said before,
right?
Yeah, like I said before, I think this is another example that, sometimes we just need to experience a little bit of darkness. And I'm not saying this is dark, but I'm just experiencing a little bit of disconnection in order to connect again, right?
Yeah.
So I do believe, that's the key. We have to hit one extreme in order to start going the other way.
Yeah, it's so tiring. Can't we just have a good meal, drink some wine, and listen to good music and watch a good movie? Can we just do that? I just feels like we need that today, Okay, so let's, Hispanic Heritage Month. Johnny has put a good music list together and it's linked on Spotify and it's in the episode notes. I'm going to be adding this like right now. For the holiday season, October, you've done some, music from you and Hispanic music as well. And so everyone check that out in the link. So I want to go through that. So I want to go through the three of us and let's talk about one Hispanic heritage song. We're talking global diversity. So do whatever country you want to do. So let's start with you, Johnny. What song do you want to talk about for Hispanic Heritage Month or Global Diversity Attention Month? I got the name wrong again, but we want to have global diversity. How about that? Look at your list. This is so cool.
I don't have it in front of me at the moment.
Okay. Do you want me to read it to you? Here, I'll read it. Guantanamera. Oh, I love that song.
Oh, yes.
Chan Chan, this is one of my favorites. Jose Feliciano's Feliz Navidad. And I know Paco's going to yell at me of my Spanish just now. Are we supposed to say Spanish or Mexican, Paco? What are we supposed to say? How about that?
Spanish.
Let's get to the real Spanish.
It's Spanish. It's Spanish. Yeah, there's not.
Espanol.
Yeah, Spanish. Yeah. Okay. We don't say American. We say English. It's the same thing. Even it's not Mexican. It's Spanish. It's actually Spanish. Yeah. Our mother language is Spanish, and even if you're in Peru, is not Peru. It's Spanish too. The official language is Spanish. However, whenever we, it depends on the area. In the area, we in Mexico have, some words that mean something else in Argentina, and vice versa. And but within Mexico, we have 32 states. Within the states, different states, one word can mean something else. Or we have kind of slang that use words or made up words, because they're not even words, they're not part of the dictionary, they're just made up words, and they mean something to us. But honestly, the fact is Spanish. Spanish is our...
Okay, I always thought it's interesting because when I speak Spanish or, from Mexico, some of it is the same in South Africa for Afrikaans.
Yeah, I just speak Spanish with the Mexican accent and with the Mexican way of pronouncing. And when you go to South America, Central America, They sometimes don't enunciate as we do in Mexico, and even in Spain. Sometimes there are regions in Spain when I watch anything or listen to something from Spain, depending on the region, sometimes I have to put subtitles because I don't understand. I mean, it's like British, English and American or Australian or New Zealand. They each has different something that makes it unique, and
it's a different dialect. It's a dialect, different dialect for each, like a accent and a different. It's like like Afrikaans in South Africa is Dutch, but it's got more French and Portuguese in it. And I think the Portuguese has got the Spanish side that where when I learned a little bit of Espanol when we lived in Mexico, I was like, well, that's the same word, but it sounds a little different, but it's the same meaning, very similar sound, just a little different. And so it got really confusing.
I guess Latin languages, I think, is nice because I'm not fluent in other languages, but I understand a little bit of Italian and a little bit of Portuguese. French is a little complex to me. Still very beautiful, but it's very, very complex. Romanian is another Latin language too. That sometimes when I watch something, I get some words here and there. But as I was saying, sometimes even when I watch something from Spain, depending on the region, I do have to either rewind and rewatch or put subtitles.
The Romanian, that's interesting.
So for me to read. Yeah, that's a Romanian is a.
We're part
Latin,
Romanian.
I'm sorry, you're part Romanian.
I said, yeah, Romanian, German, Hungarian, Austrian, English, Isle of Man, and a whole bunch of witches. There's a Latin bit. Well, there is. I mean, it's like, that's what I said at the beginning of the show. We're all connected in some way. There's always a little bit of dust that someone left somewhere that we picked up. It's kind of like looking at, I want to say a disease, but like it's transferable. Let's just put it that way. It's like, even if you have like you could be pure German. Like I know someone who is like 98% Hasidic Jew. Right? He's like, I'm this, and I don't care about this, that, or the other. I'm like, well, that's just the person you've become. Like, you don't have to adopt everything, but he's Jewish, and he's like, he's like almost 100% pure of that, right? But then because of where he lives, he's become this and that. So I know there's the genetics, but I also believe we become who we are with where we are and who we're with, and then that gets in our DNA and transfers down. I'm just saying. Now I'm getting weird, but it's true.
Oh, no, you're not getting weird at all because that's how I.
Yeah. In California,
I've been in the United States more. I have lived in the United States more than I lived ever in Mexico.
Yeah, well,
I am who I am because you're totally right. Where I am and who I am.
Yeah, we become our community.
Sometimes when asked me recently. So, my nephew asked me. So, do you think in English already? I go like, yeah. I mean, I do think in English. I do dream in English. I talk to myself in English, and that's because my life is in English. Pretty much, my clients, my husband, my few friends, whatever we watch in English, I listen to. My life is in English, so. The only time that I use Spanish in my regular, my daily is when I talk to my siblings or when I encounter someone that I know is fluent in Spanish. But it does. My life is I'm just an example of what you just say. It's I am
community.
Who I am because what I am, and who I'm.
We have all these conversations in between time. We're community, right? We're community. We've never met in person, but my gosh, I know you better than I know some people I know in person. But, some people I'm like, I like to swap that. No, I'm kidding. I'm just kidding. No, I think you don't have to. Well, it's always better to meet person. Like there's nothing like that. But communities, Johnny, we're going to get back to the music thing, but with the gratitude, club and everything that you have on Facebook. I'm going every time you come on a show, I'm like, I need to get back there. I need to go back because it's true. It's true. You always talk about, you think of 5 things a day and it is the number 5. It's true. I'm sorry I shared that said 3, but the sentiment of it. 5 is true. 5 is a good number. It's a round number. 3 still has an edge on it, right? And most cultures around the world don't like the 3 and the 13. There's hotel rooms are not on the 3rd floor. That's a no-no. That's a 13 and 3 are like So we're in Halloween season, so haha. Anyway, but gratitude is part of that, and there's this whole community of people. I mean, you've probably met some of the people and everything. I don't know. It's just like you support each other in something. Facebook that. Did you really?
We met in the Gratitude Club, and one day she posted a poem, Christmas poem, and I messaged her and said, music's coming to my head when I'm reading your poem. Can I make it into a song? Because I would love that. And it was my song, All the Babes on Christmas Born, and the video's had over 100,000 views, and it's one of my more popular songs on my Christmas album. Yeah, we still haven't met, but we wrote a song together.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, that was actually, she's on the show. Elizabeth Massey won the Graham Stoker Award. Yeah. So
I kind of the back of my head go, I know this story. Lisa, I know this story. That's so cool. That's the power of community. Is like it can come from anywhere. And I think what Paco was saying about technology has been a godsend in that. Like we can communicate around the world. I mean, my friends in South Africa. I mean, we had to really all search to find each other. They didn't know where we were in the world, and my last name is Smith. For God's sakes, good luck with that. So, but it's, technology is great and we can have all these kinds of communities. It's how we treat each other and how we look at it. And I think the traditions that we were talking about earlier, the music, the food, all of this lends to a better life, a happier life, broadened horizon. It's like, God, do you want to eat the same thing every day? I was just doing this on the show that airs after you with Shelley Wiz, and we were talking about it. Don't we want to broaden our horizon? Don't eat the same thing every day, sit in the same chair, watch the same program over and over. Is that what you're here on earth to do? What are we here on earth to do? And if we individually look at that and we can change it every single day, any hour, any minute, we can change what we want to do. That's the power of life. And it's how we get through it and get past the hurdles. We have many hurdles in our worlds right now, but how do we do it? And keep the authenticity. Keep your integrity. It's hard because money is hard. Money is a pain in the beep, 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 bleep, bleep. The whole money thing is annoying in life, and some people get off on that. And some of us just like, can we just live and do our art and not have to worry about things? It doesn't matter. Put that part of your goals.
I think that we have a natural inclination to be drawn to things that are different from us. Some people really fight it because it's uncomfortable. But I read a story where somebody did research and they gave articles of clothing to people who had been worn by different people to see how they reacted, and to smell. And they said that very consistently, would say, well, which one of these people would you want to meet? Or are there any of these people that you would be attracted to, do you think? And they consistently chose people who were from a different ethnicity. When they'd say, this smells, I like the smell. They said that there's scientifically that, opposites attract thing, where people are drawn to something that sort of complete, like something that they don't already have. And I think that I love living in a place where there's all kinds of people and all kinds of food and all kinds of culture and everything, because it's so exciting. And then I do integrate parts of it into myself, and I feel like I'm richer for it,
I do too. I get excited. Ooh, what's this? What are you eating? I didn't know that. I didn't know you could eat this part or whatever. And the smell, the sense of smell, I'm big on. I drive Nancy bonkers. I can smell if someone's sick. I can smell ghosts. Yeah, I'm not messing around. Like really, my sense of smell is disturbing and annoying. I can tell like disease and not know what it is about, but I can go, something's wrong here. And so a lot of times we'll be doing a show, like I'll have red eyes and a puffy face. It's like I can't, whatever I'm smelling is making me sick. Like whatever, like all the toxic fumes and stuff really affect me. But it really, really affects me. So it makes me sick. But at the same time gives me all this intel of what's going on. Like I can't even, like, I can't explain it. I can smell things. It's weird. It's very weird. And it drives like Nancy, I mean, I think it's from developing your senses. Hearing is from living in the bush as a kid. Your sense of smell, your sight, which does go away as we age, right? But my sense of smell is becoming bigger as I'm aging. Maybe my eyesight going down from computers. And then like taste is heightened because of that. And then your hearing. So my senses are like a little bit on the extraordinary from living in the bush, because that's what's going to keep you alive. And so it's very rare that someone can sneak up on Nancy and I. It's very rare. And when they do, you're going to get killed. Like really, it's a defense thing. So it's a very, like if you live in peace and quiet, that is what happens. You develop these senses. But if you're living in the middle of a city that is full of noise, so much different smell, especially cars and stuff like that, we start to lose it. I lose it when I go to a city. I start to lose it because I get congested and everything. But as soon as I get back on the country, I can smell who peed where and what. It's weird. Nancy too. She was trained by Joy Adamson to do that, and she trained me. And I think also the tribal people I lived with trained me more than anything. You can smell pee, and if the pee is good or bad, if the animal is sick. Yeah, it's weird. Anyway, this is not what we're supposed to talk about on a show. But anyway, yeah, everybody who wants to smell some pee, let's go to music. Let's go to music. I want to go around real quick to close out the show for Latino Month. Okay, we're going to do Latino Month and Global Diversity Appreciation Month. That's what it is. So we're all friends here. So, Johnny, one song, one musician, who do you want to put in the spotlight, or what song do you want to put in the spotlight?
You did mention Guantanamera. When I was a kid, that was actually popular on the radio in Spanish. It was, I think it's one of those songs that a lot of Americans know. I mean, Paco actually told me the story that it's actually about a Cuban woman, like a farm woman, right, Paco? And I think it was one of those things. I lived in Sierra Vista, Arizona at the time, close to the border, and we would go over into Nogales sometimes. And it got me thinking, interested in hearing more music that was, that had Latin beats
and harmonies, like the mariachis. Oh my gosh, are you kidding me? The harmonies, because they can sing together. Yeah. And it's it's not like huge gaps. It's like, it's interesting. It's a wall of sound of beauty and dynamic. Guantanamera, I knew that from when we first moved to Mexico and first went there. Of course, mariachis doing the tourist restaurant bar thing, but also just, I mean, and they did the history, like what Paco is telling you. It's like, actually, this song was adopted from here, there, and everywhere, but they, a lot of times, catering to also the gringo tourists, but that's how we learn. Even, there's nothing wrong with being that. You're being in the country, you're a traveler, and you're helping the economy, and you're going to learn, and they're teaching you something, and it's up to you to learn. So, yeah, I love that song. I love that. Paco, what about you? What's one of your songs or musician?
Well, I have to say, because, we are celebrating the Hispanic Heritage Month, I have to say...
You said Latino Month. You wanted it to be Latinos.
I think it has to be La Vida Loca by Ricky Martin. I think he spot. It's a product, it's a well-made product, but he put us, I think he is the artist the singer who put us Latinos on the spot around the globe recently. I think it's a universal song. It's not only a crossover song. is written by a Latino and sung by a Latino, and that put Latinos on the spot recently.
Yeah, that's cool.
I think it'll be, and I think everyone is acquainted to La Vida Loca, living La Vida Loca.
I remember when that came out. Ricky Martin was big.
And he opened the doors for, just like Gloria Estefan opened, so many doors for Latinos years ago, and it was conga. Conga was also a universal song in the United States, but and she opened a lot of doors for Latinos.
And the Macarena?
But I think the Macarena is also good. I mean, again, this is from Spain. One hit wonder from Spain. Los del Rio, I think, is the name of the duet. I mean, it was it was popular, all over the place. Since it's all like, go ahead.
No. Go.
And I know you asked for one, but I'm gonna add just one more that I think is because it's Latino.
It's your
the girl from Panama. The girl from Panama, I think, is a Portuguese song, but I think
now you say Panama, and then we say Ipanema. So I don't know who's right or wrong there.
I say Panama. I always say Panama, I guess. But you say Ipanema. Again, it's about the accent. It's about how we feel. These people, I mean, Brazilian people might come and correct us. Thank you. But I say Ipanema.
Yeah, that's what you're allowed to. Ipanema. Yeah. That's a world icon. I mean, that's and it's a part of, it's actually even part of the American songbook, I think, because so many American singers did that. And it was just this amazing guitar song. And there's the beach that is so famous, I want to put out the song Quizás, 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 perhaps.
Oh, wow.
Now, I don't know if I'm pronouncing Quizás, Quizás, Quizás correctly.
Correct.
But, the band Cake brought it out, right? But what I adore the Buena Vista Social Club. And it's now talk about cultures and generations, right? They've gone through generations of the original, and the Buena Vista Social Club I loved because it's Cubano, right? And at the same time, there's an African influence that I'm so used to. And when that came out, I felt at home. There's certain things that I feel at home because of growing up in Africa, and Africa had like a Latino side, right? I think the Portuguese, and then there's the Spanish there too. I have to remember that the Spanish came through. And the Italian, so it's all the romantic languages. So Johnny, I see where you went. Johnny wants the romantic language, but the woman who sang it with Ibrahim Ferrer, there's a recording, and it makes me cry. It was like perhaps, and it was this play on each other, singing back and forth, so simple, so beautifully done. It was like at the beginning it was just after the beginning when Ry Cooder worked with Buena Vista Social Club, and I love Ry Cooder so much because he goes into the roots music and really does prove we're all connected in some way. And we're talking about Norteno music. He did that. There's just so much on that I could go into. But that song, when the two of them sang it, and I'll link that in, I don't know if I'll find it on Spotify, but I will find this and link it in the episode notes, is one of the most, I don't know, it's this possibility of love. And yet these were two elders singing, knowing that this is like their career was reignited at that time. And this is when the America-Cuba connection was reinvigorated, kind of, whatever. Let's not get into all that. But there was a possibility just even with their music. And then two amazing singers understanding the dynamic so perfectly and so beautifully, and the emotion. Oh my, I can't even. It makes me cry every single time because it's this possibility, not just of love, but knowing they're sitting in this old room that no one, they didn't have the money to fix Cuba at this time, and there was just like this kind of glimmer of hope, of love, not just between two people. They did that very well, but of possibilities of a better future, musically and in community. I can't even anyway, sorry. And that has been covered by so many people over the years. I think that's one of the songs that get in the American Songbook too, Johnny, I think. The American Songbook is not American. Well, it is American because it's a melting pot of songs, right? So.
music definitely is an international language. It's a language without barriers. So
okay, I want to go around the room one more time, and then we got to go because we're going to get over our little limit here. One person in the world Latino heritage for celebrating Latino heritage, but one person that you just feel is like a hero in some way, in whatever way, someone you look up to. And so I'll start with you, Paco. Is there anyone in the world, the Latino world, that you go, this person really overcame stuff and did good? Of course, there's many. I'm just saying one.
Currently, I think I admire, oh my God, I can't believe I forget, Sonia Sotomayor. I'm very proud that it's also a judge in the Supreme Court, so I'm very proud of her. So that's just my current choice right now. I think
that's
proud
huge
to be represented by her. Yeah, and it's a woman, and it's a Latino woman. It's the first Latino sitting on the Supreme Court. So yeah,
I love that. Johnny, what about you?
I would say Salma Hayek has kept her accent, going mainstream and film and television, and kept her personality and her, authentic self as she's become a star. Some people sacrifice all that stuff. There's a long history of people changing their names from different countries, to try to blend in and seem more American. And she became successful being herself. And
badass.
So I admire that. Yeah.
Period. She is. And she Kahlo really well. Let's talk about another Hispanic hero, Frida Kahlo and Diego Rivera. Even though they had a wild and crazy relationship, both stood up for people and for doing the right thing. So my lady is Dolores Huerta. And I think that will go in your backyard there, Johnny. Dolores and Cesar Chavez and what they did for the laborers of America. And California in specific, that was really the huge part of the agricultural land. But Dolores Huerta, she just didn't stop. And she's just one of these people that you just keep putting one foot over the next. When we go through things in our lives and in our world, and you want to make a change, you're going to have immense obstacles, life-threatening obstacles, but she just kept doing it. And I think that's her success and what she's managed to do for laborers. We're in a weird world with that right now. But I want to remind everyone about her because she brings hope. And I think she always carried hope in her back pocket in what she has done over the years. So Dolores Huerta. So thank you, guys. This has been a fun conversation. Go ahead.
Can I add one really quick thing? We talked about viral videos, and we did have a viral video, and it happens to be a Halloween video. Since it's October, I'd love for you to check out Who Put the Ghost There. Paco did this amazing video with dancing monsters, and it's a song about, like the ghosts. It talks about the ghosts and the scary things in life, and a lot of times we put them there. So that's kind of the gist of it. But really, it's just a fun song. We put it out just for fun about 5 days before Halloween, and it went crazy. It got 2 million views on YouTube. So check that out.
It's fun, but then you also had some backlash on it. So just speaking in that vein, you persevered over the backlash. So I love that. Yeah. No, but that's it. It's about standing strong. I think today's show is about, global unity, understanding each other's traditions and flavors, and the strength of the arts, and being authentic and standing strong through the thick and thin. Is that good? Did we do that? Did we do good today? Well, thank you both. And happy birthday, Paco. And I promise when we meet you on your birthday one day, I'll never push your face into a cake. Because I don't even know how to position it that you even get one bite. That's I don't know. As you were explaining that you're supposed to just position it for one bite, I'm like, I don't even know how to do it properly. So I will never touch you in a cake at the same time, but I sure will eat a cake that you bake.
Well, yeah.
Thank you so much, Paco. Have a wonderful birthday. Thank you so much for being back on the show. Thank you, Johnny, as always. I love our shows together. And, we're going to have so many more that are going to be great. November's coming up. That is the month of gratitude. You know that Johnny loves that. So Everybody get ready for that. And also go to Facebook and type in the Gratitude Club, and we'll all see you there, and I'll get my butt back in gear. Thank you so much, both of you. Everyone keep up with us at bigblendradio.com and keep up with Johnny at hearjohnny.com. He's on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and Blue Sky, right?
Yeah, and TikTok.
And TikTok. Oh, he's TikToking. All right. Is that still going? I don't know what to do with TikTok anymore. Is it there? But anyway, we'll find out. But anyway, go there. Yeah. All right. Thanks, guys.
Okay.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to Big Blend Radio. Keep up with our shows at bigblendradio.com.